Gentlemen, what a round. I figured instead of sending a long ass text message, we do a quick recap of the Hooligan Summer Invitational. So I'm going to make this short and sweet. We're going to touch on all the winners for every category. And man, did someone kick our fucking asses. But let's get into it. Also, just shout out to the weather gods. They treated us well. We were worried about the rain. Of course, we got a little wet, but I couldn't have expected better weather today. Also, shout out to Dylan, Jack, and Pratty. You guys rolled the dice, joined this tournament, not knowing what to expect, not knowing how this format would work. You kind of just jumped in through an invite. And it was huge to have all three of you. If I didn't tell you earlier, all three of you are invited to all future Hooligan golf tournaments. So, welcome to the family. Thank you for playing. Super excited to have you. Hope you had as much fun as I did. But let's get into it. A bunch of different categories to talk about. We had the best scramble team on the front, the best team overall, best solo player on the back. Then we had the head-to-head matchups, the skins, the poop skins, and closest to pin contest. So let's talk about each of them. First up, we got the best scramble. This is the front nine only, 2v2 scrambles. $20 were up for grabs, so $10 per player if only one team won. Spoiler, it wasn't just one team. Tied for first was me and James and Chal and Dylan. We each shot a +1 within the same foursome. We were the best scramblers, which came down to $5 per person. Tied for third, we had Joe and Jack and Hopkins and Caveney. They were +3. And then Andy and Sean were fifth, and Radler and Pratt were sixth. So that is our scramble on the front. For the head-to-head matchups on the front, me, as I just said, me and James tied Chal and Dylan. So no money, or actually, really, we split, I guess, $5 per person there. So $250 each, I guess. Joe, Jack, and Andy and Sean. Joe and Jack won that matchup. That's $5 for them two. And then Hopkins and Caveney beat Radler and Pratt. So all fun on the head-to-heads. Let's talk about the best ball. And for this tournament, there was no prize for having the best ball team. This really just contributed to the best overall team, but I figured we'd highlight who did well on the back. First was Hopkins and Caveney. They shot a +3 via best ball. That's fucking impressive. Shout out to y'all. Joe and Jackie came in second with a +5. Me and James tied Chal and Dylan again with a +7. Then Andy and Sean got a +8, and Radler and Pratt +16. But no money won for this. It really all came down to the front plus the back. But the way to win money on the back was through the head-to-head matchup. And me and James beat Chal and Dylan, came down to the final hole. Joe and Jack beat Andy and Sean again, and Hopkins and Ryan beat Radler and Pratt again. So that's another $5 to each of the winners. Best team overall, one of the biggest prizes available, $50 per person for being the best team. And that was Hopkins and Ryan. They shot a +6, I believe a +3 on the front, +3 on the back, 78 overall. Tied for second, there was actually a three-way tie. Me and James, Chal and Dylan, and Joe and Jack all shot +8 and 80. Then we had Andy and Sean and Radler and Pratt. So shout out to Hopkins and And Caveney, great duo. You each won $50 each. Best solo. Now, the scorecard was fucked up. So if you were confused, if anyone was confused on how someone was shooting a crazy number when they were expected to be one of the higher scores, that's because the scorecard was messed up. No wrongdoing by anyone. Hopkins was the one with the low score. He shot a 42. He shot a 43, net 42, plus 6 overall in the back. $18 to you for being the best solo. Dylan was right there with a plus 7 with a 43. And then me, Sean, and Joe all tied with a 46 for third. So Hopkins, more money to you. $18 for being the best solo. $18 to cover your skins for the round. Not that you needed covering. Spoiler, you won some skins. But we're going to talk about the front first, the team skins. There was only one skin won, and that was Radler and Pratt. They got a birdie on number 2. Nobody else did. That's $24 to you two, $12 each. Congratulations. I didn't realize this during the round because your scores weren't being entered. But fantastic. Happy that y'all won a skin. You deserved it. Let's go to the back. On the back, there was a lot more skins. And it started with a bang on 10. Hopkins gets a birdie, $96. Fuck you, Hopkins. Really wanted you to miss that putt. Not that it would have mattered because you also won the next skin. On hole 13, you won a skin with a par. And if you see, the next 4 skins were all pars, which is pathetic that between 12 of us, par was winning skins. But Hopkins won with a par on 13, $36 more dollars. Piece of shit. Joe V wins on 16 with a par, $36. Hopkins wins another fucking skin with a par, another $12. And Sean Dolan snags a par on the 180-yard par 3 to close off the round. He wins $12. So shout out to all the skins winners, the poop skins. It is truly a poop skin this week because Hopkins racked in the skins money. A lot of money earned there. Unfortunately, because a skin was 1 on 18, there's no money to go to the closest to the pin winners, but I do want to shout them out. Jack threw a dart on number 4 to be the first closest to the pin winner. No money earned, but you do have the bragging rights. Dylan was closest on number 6, and then Sean on the hardest par 3 of the course laid down a dart. Unfortunately, didn't win any money, but you did win the skin. So I guess it doesn't matter. But shout out to these 3 for throwing darts on the par 3. So last up, let's talk money earned. Money earned. Hopkins. Dude, I did not think anyone was going to walk away with like some large amount of money, but he was on the best team. He was the best solo. Him and Caveney won both head-to-heads, and he won $144 on 3 different skins. He is our biggest money earner of the day. Clearly the MVP of the Hooligan Summer Invitational. Hats off to you, man. You won our fantasy league, and then you just almost earned your buy-in for next season. So, yeah, what a day. I'd like to see some money. I organized the damn thing, but maybe next time. We had 2 other people who won money. Caveney, from being on Hopkins' team, basically, he won $25.50. And then Joe, because of his head-to-head performances and his skin that he won $11.50. Everybody else lost money. I believe somewhere between $22.50 and $34.50. So 3 winners, 9 losers. I will send Venmo requests and Venmo payments, if not today, by tomorrow. and everyone will be all square. So that's where we're at. Couple quick notes. Potential changes for next time. I was just trying to think through potential changes. If you have ideas, send them to me. I'm open to all feedback. But here are some things that I just quickly noted. Definitely going to collect the buy-in up front so that I don't have to do all this math of like, I've got to send you won $12, but you owe me 24 and all that shit. I'm just going to collect it up front to make my life easier. That's purely a convenience thing for me. And it will also be, if once you've put in money, that secures your registration and you've locked in your spot. So if people start fighting for our spots, you pay, you're in, you're locked in. Also, if you back out, that's gone. So it puts some pressure for people to stay. We'll also secure alternatives just in case people do have emergencies or whatever and can't play. We don't have to like panic about what we're going to do. We'll have rain delay plans so that's also not a panic because I was stressing yesterday. Also, I don't think this mattered. It definitely didn't matter, but realized today that like, on the closest to the pin contest, it's probably not super fair if people use Chulligans on them. So I think we'll add in a rule that like you can't win close to the pin if you use a Chulligan. Something I'm considering. Now that we have like kept logged online scores, we're going to adjust handicaps based on prior rounds. So I'll keep track of the data each round and adjust. We'll also make sure everyone has the leaderboard early and knows what the fuck they're doing, so we don't have to worry about people updating the wrong scorecard or not knowing what to do. We'll make sure that closest to the pins win money no matter what. So you win at least something, even if it's $5. And then we'll have prizes for the best back nine. Not that it mattered. Caveney and Hopkins won anyways, but we'll make sure that if you win something, any category, you're guaranteed to win some actual money from it. So that's what we're doing next time. And last of all, we have next time secured. We have a date solidified. Saturday, July 12th is our next Hooligan tournament. Silverman will be in Massachusetts. And so I'm planning something around him. If you can't do the date, too bad. It'll probably be more central Mass than West Boylston because he's catching a flight that day at 7 p.m. But do sign up ASAP if you're down. Course to be determined. I will figure out a way to collect registrations starting next week. Got to think about it a little bit more. But Saturday, July 12th is our next tournament. I hope all of you can play again. And let's beat fucking Hopkins because, man, this is our third or fourth tournament, and I'm pretty sure he just won more money than every other winner combined from previous tournaments. So thank you all for such a great Saturday. I look forward to beating all of your asses on July 12th. This was the Hooligans Summer Invitational. I am your commish. Peace out.